My name is Celeste Fernandez. I teach 4th grade at West Lafayette Intermediate School. I love being around kids all day because I think kids are the best of humanity. They are creative and bright and compassionate and have a strong sense of justice and are eager to please.
Mrs. Fernandez, can you come up here while I talk about you?
Being around them gives me a lot of hope, I think, for the future. And so I absolutely love being around them all day, especially 9 and 10-year-olds, because they're old enough to be a little sarcastic and have a little personality, start growing into their, what they're interested in, their passions. In my classroom, we have a motto, because I have a Lego-themed classroom. And so our motto is, we are builders. Building knowledge, building character, and building community. I try really hard. Obviously, knowledge is something we do all day in school. We're always learning new things. But the character and community part to me are equally important. Really, the community building, I think, is where the heart of it all happens. One of those things is we have a dedicated time each week we call Cake Hour. Borrowed it from another country's tradition, where they get to just sit in a circle and talk about their problems, figure out solutions for those problems, or sometimes they just want to share things that are going on. And I'll do that too. I'll tell them things that I'm struggling with that we can problem solve together as a class or whatnot, or just things that I want them to be aware of as I'm kind of a human being myself and struggling with things. And it's been really helpful for me to get an insight into the things that they're battling and for them to also feel empowered themselves to help problem solve together. Because we are builders, we have something called Builder Awards, where they nominate each other for Builder Awards throughout the week. So they have to notice what other people are doing, which is sometimes hard for kids because they're very in their own world, but they have to look outside of themselves a little bit and notice what's going on. In education, we talk a lot about growth mindset, and yet sometimes our policies don't always align with that. So when students come into my room, they know that I'm not going to judge them on their first attempt of anything, that pretty much everything they can redo. We're just going to work together and keep practicing. So show me what you know right now, and we're going to keep building on that. And I think that helps them take a little bit of the pressure off of being judged with an A or an F and just say, okay, here's where I'm at, here's what I need to work on. And a lot of times they can identify their own mistakes, and if they can't, then I can step in and help. I love learning myself. I was a student who just soaked it all up like a sponge myself. I actually grew up in this area. I grew up in Battleground and went to Harrison and stuff. So a lot of my teachers, my favorite teachers, are still teaching or just retired. And they inspired me to just love learning. And I think being a lifelong learner myself, I love helping my students develop if they've lost it already, which is sad, but some of them have. But no 9-year-old should hate school. No 9-year-old should hate learning. They should all be curious and excited. And most of them are if you let them be, if you give them the space to be. So I think helping students find that passion for learning themselves is really important. And along with that is helping them find their passions. Because in 4th grade, they're starting to be old enough to kind of grow into their personality a little bit, to start exploring things. They're still going to see so many things in the future that they have never thought of, but they definitely start to kind of narrow in a little bit on what they're interested in. And that includes what they read, that includes the extracurriculars they do, that includes the friends that they pick and all those things. So we're going to try all the things, and you don't have to love all of them, but let's just try and see what you like. And so I think that's something I'm really excited about too all the time, is helping kids kind of grow into the best version of themselves and the happiest versions of themselves.